Hello, welcome all my beautiful, vibrant hearts and ephemeral souls to today's collective reading, which is really going to be looking at this upcoming full moon that we're going to be having in the sign of Taurus. This will be the full moon taking place on November 15th, 2024. And I haven't done a collective reading for a minute, so this is a beautiful opportunity. What I'm going to do is I'm going to break down a little bit about what this full moon is going to entail in general, just like big themes you can expect. And then I will be doing a reading with tarot and oracle cards to kind of get further details. So if you want to skip the explanation or some of the many thoughts I have on the subject, you can head down to the description box and find the timestamps that will take you to the tarot and oracle portion. For those who are interested in a more personalized full moon reading, I do offer those. You can book with me through my website, which is also linked down below. So let's get into it. Keep in mind that this might play out for you differently based on your own personal astrology. Looking at where Taurus falls in your chart or what Taurus placements you have might lend an extra note of complexity. Excuse me. As well as just, the circumstances of your life journey. Astrology is meant to be a guiding, a guideline, right? Guiding principles, not a celestial mandate to dictate every part of your life. Do you guys hear that? It's really windy here. So that's the screen door just slamming into my house. All right, we're cool. We're fine here. I got scared. But yeah, so full moons. Full moons are a time of culmination. They are a time of things coming full circle. They are that of manifestation and celebration, but also of release work, right? Of grief work even. Full moons are usually a time where whatever intentions we set at the new moon 6 months prior, the new moon in the same sign 6 months prior, are either coming into being, into form, or like big blockages toward those, toward that manifestation is coming up in order to be dealt with, right? To be brought to our awareness. The moon in astrology can represent our emotional world. Sorry about my dog. She's just spooked out by the wind. But the moon can represent our emotions and our inner world, but it also represents our subconscious. And because of that, the full moon can be a time where we get the most insight, the most light is shed on some aspect of our lives that are sort of in our subconscious blind spots. Again, sorry about her. She's just she's scared about the wind. She's a little pit lab mix and she thinks she's very tough. She's a tough girl. She's a tough girl. For those who are unaware, that's one of my dogs, Suki, but I call her Spooky Suki. So there we go. The more you know. So full moon in Taurus, what is this really about, right? Taurus is the natural ruler of the second house. Taurus is a sign that deals with our physical senses, the physical body, it's the pleasures of the world around us, right? The earthly realm, what we can experience in a tangible context. Taurus is also a fixed earth sign energy, so it's very stable. It's very, very grounded, albeit stubborn at times. It is very confident with material ownership, right? So Taurus energy likes to have material things, likes the finer things. Taurus energy is patient with growth, right? That's a really, I think, underrated part of Taurus energy I really love is the patience with growth. Taurus understands that good things take time and isn't afraid to put in that work and that effort to be able to, both produce those things and enjoy those things at a really beautiful, fruitful level. So Taurus can represent in its own right kind of a harvest energy. Taurus energy is also that of an individual who is valued and principled. Again, albeit stubborn sometimes, but valued and principled. For me, in astrology, the Taurus-Scorpio axis, because Scorpio is its opposite, and all oppositional signs on the wheel of the zodiac have a common kind of issue or a thing that they're trying to solve in life. And while they might start at oppositional ends of the spectrum, the goal that they have is to kind of learn from one another, borrow from one another to create a balanced, equilibrated approach to solving the area of life. And for me, the Taurus-Scorpio axis is really all about the relationship to control versus change. And in a sense as well, the underpinnings of that is fear, right? Because why do we try to control something is when we're afraid of what will happen when we don't. So Taurus energy, especially, in its shadow, can be very fearful in its own right, can have to deal with issues of control and security above all else. In the story of the Wheel of the Zodiac as well, we have, Aries in the rulership of the first house. That's the house of the undifferentiated self. But the second house, which is Taurus's natural house, is a time where we start to differentiate ourselves from our main caregiver. And that's why it deals with themes around security and value, right? It's our lifeline. It's our sense of, this is what I need to be okay, and needing to keep that, present, needing to keep that as it is, needing to keep that in the way that we've become accustomed. So all of this being said, what does, full moon in Taurus kind of entail for us? Well, it can mean that this is a time where we have culmination and celebration when it comes to our, our career, our possessions, our assets, our finances. The work that we have done is yielding fruit. It usually suggests as well that it is, again, it is, an energy of harvest, but, it's not necessarily... It is an energy of harvest and abundance, but it's not necessarily all at once, right? It is slowly progressing. It is consistent and it is incrementally growing, right? So there's like a nice big step up. Even if it's not the full manifestation, right? You're like, okay, this was an accomplishment. I have yield for my efforts, right? So some of us can expect that. Again, I would look very much at where Taurus falls in your chart. So for example, if Taurus falls in your 7th house, that could be where you have that yield, you have that, significant progress step up in partnerships, relationships. If it falls in your 11th house, you might find this with progress toward a wish or a goal, toward getting in alignment with your spiritual path, toward, a goal that you have with your friend group, toward finding your soul family, things like that. I could go on and on. But there is a yield that many of us may experience as a result. This is also a time where blockages toward the abundance we seek, right? Toward those next steps, toward that growth, albeit again, slow and incremental and over time, but blockages toward that stability that we seek come into our awareness, right? Those blockages may be being released. We might have a big breakthrough, a big burst of movement forward in that area. Like I talked about, the full moon can also represent a time where the things that are the most in our subconscious blind spots get the most light shown on them. So this is where we're having those big breakthroughs and we're like, oh, that's why I do that. Some of us as well, this will prompt us to figure out what we need to leave behind in order to create more security for ourselves. So some of us might be prompted to leave a job behind, whether we want that and we go after that, or, the universe is kind of pushing us in that direction. It can prompt us to leave a job behind. It can prompt us to move locations. It can prompt us to change the way that we save our money as well. Because sometimes Taurus can be prone to overspending or prone to, loving to splurge on the luxuries. So sometimes the way that we spend money versus save money, those issues might come up, particularly under any earth sign full moon, but especially Taurus, and I would say Capricorn more than anything else. Excuse me. So these issues might be coming up for further, further insight, further awareness. I definitely do see that happening for many. And at kind of more of an internal level, a lot of us are going to be prompted to either look at how, like, what we hold on to for a sense of security, or possibly to release that, right? Release our comfort zones, our little security blankets, to release the hold and the grip that we have over the things that make us feel safe, or the things that also make us feel like we are valued, right? The things we value, the things that make us feel like we're valued. Again, a sense of safety, a sense of security. Some of us, if we've been working on that journey, might have, might have a manifestation come into being, right? So if we've been working on, for example, letting go of a comfort zone of ours that's really stifling our growth, or that's challenging our relationship to control, this might be where, with this full moon, what it's bringing in is like a situation that highlights to you how much you don't need that thing anymore, where you're like, oh yeah, you know what, it used to be that if I had a bad day, I like needed to go out for drinks after, and I just had like a bad day and I didn't have that impulse, right? Because Taurus rules the five senses of the physical body, there's a lot here having to do with self-soothing through the physical senses. That's more of a shadow aspect of Taurus. So a lot of us are either prompted to let those things go, which I think is very much in alignment with the overall themes we're experiencing as Saturn moves through Pisces. So we're either being prompted to let that go, or we have let that go and we're experiencing, we're experiencing the freedom from those things. Many of us as well will be like a kind of experiencing the freedom that comes from letting things change. That is going to be a lesson that's going to be coming up for us over the next lunar month, is that things may change, things may need to be released, and we're going to be prompted to see how well we can flow with that. By contrast, for those who struggle to create security, this may be a time where the energy is really going to be supporting you in creating routine and stability. Taurus is not life changed. Taurus likes to keep things consistent. So if that is something that is an area of struggle for you, so for example, I'll say maybe if you have Taurus in the 6th house, right? This could be a time where you're really prompted to create stability within a day-to-day routine in order to achieve holistic wellness and balance, particularly if you have maybe a lot of mutable placements. I would say if you have a lot of Scorpio or 8th house placements, if you have, oh, I had another thing I was going to say. Shoot. I would say if you have a lot of even cardinal placements to an extent, Aries placements in particular, Sag, things like that, which is mutable. Things where it's usually about change. It's about, like burning things down to start something new. It's about, starting the new project, being a trailblazer. Any of those types of energies, you might be prompted with this full moon to create more stability, security. You might find that that is more soothing to you. You might find that that makes you feel more balanced internally, right? You might find that that's something that really soothes your soul at this time, really speaks to your soul. So this is a time where making those changes is going to be really supported through the energy. There's a lot of different ways this can manifest, but I would expect to see culmination and change when it comes to, as well as understanding, when it comes to your physical body, your financial assets, your sense of control or change, and your comfort zones in your life. This has also got a huge implication for house and home. So big changes within the home, or big changes with big like assets that you have. So maybe your car, or any investments that you have, be prepared to experience those this month. So yeah, those are just some kind of things that we can all sort of expect. But with that, let's look into what this full moon is going to hold for us as a collective. And again, if you want to know more about how this is going to be affecting you personally, I do offer full moon readings. I want to look at this card, but I don't want to take it. Physical body. Okay, never mind. I'm a liar. I'm going to take it. I'm going to take the hell out of that. And pleasure, which is, these are both very Taurus energies. Okay, so let's see what we have. We have discontent. Oh, okay. Some of you, I'm seeing two major things coming up. The biggest thing I'm seeing is that I feel with discontent and physical body, a big thing that's going to be coming up in this full moon, there might be body image issues. There might be blockages toward loving your physical body are going to be coming up to be addressed in the month ahead, especially for those of you who might struggle with like body dysmorphia. That might be coming up to be healed. Those of you who have physical health issues or who don't like where your health is at, those themes are going to be coming up for you this month, right? Some of you are going to be prompted to make healthier choices because, again, this is giving very much like the more, sensual, possibly even hedonistic aspect of Taurus. You're going to be prompted to make changes very heavily in order to create more security and more physical health, right? More security within your physical body. We'll look at what that looks like in a moment. For others, this is less of what I'm like. I feel like this applies to fewer people who are going to watch this are going to resonate with this message, but I do see this here. Either for you or somebody you're deeply connected to, because there's two people here. There is a message of there is a message of not entertaining other people physically. That's like a strong message that came through. So if you're, you know, like, let's say if you're with somebody and they're like, I'm never going to get into a relationship, or there's like no sense of commitment, this person could like their options, because look how many people we have here, and this person's looking at all that. But here we have two people. So either yourself or somebody that you're connected to could finally be feeling like it's time, like it's okay to let go of the comfort zone of having a lot of options or a lot of other people's company. That was immediately something I was kind of picking up on. Somebody could be deciding that, I think the thing that was hanging, you know, they was hanging them up from like commitment was like this idea of, but what if I want to experience other people? What if I want to have those options? What if I want to indulge? And I feel like that's something they're being prepared to let go of this month. Again, I don't feel like that's mostly for many of you. I feel like this has to do with letting go of an aspect of your physical health routines, your physical health care, your body, that has not been working. Again, we do, as in like the concepts have not been working for you, the beliefs have not been working for you, the habits and the patterns have not been working for you. Like I said, we do have Saturn moving through Pisces, which is really a time where many of us are pushed to take responsibility for our addictions. And this, coupled with this full moon in Taurus, means that many of us are being called to, like, this is a really potent time to either have those efforts rewarded or to have any intentions you have, especially intentions to release something, be very much supported in the energy, right? And especially with discontent, this feels like this is kind of more speaking of the things that we reach for with our physical form, the things that we reach for, again, that's that soothing of the five senses that might amuse us or might distract us in the moment, but ultimately leave us discontented. Ultimately do not solve the problem. They do not serve us. Again, we have to remember that that Taurus energy, excuse my burp, is in that axis that's all about the relationship to, you know, change versus control and the fear that comes along with that. And so Taurus is prone in its shadow to hold on to things that really aren't serving them, are inhibiting their growth, are, you know, actively even hurting them, right? To go overboard and be overly indulgent in order to self-soothe. And these are things that are going to be coming up in the month ahead. Again, either prompting you to kind of like show you where you need to release that, or if you've been working on releasing that, to offer a breakthrough. So let's see what else we get. Wow. Okay, we have bride with wife and engagement. We have the cat with jealousy and gossip. Okay. And we have the turtle with slowness and protection. So cats or turtles might be significant. I don't know why that made me laugh. We have the wow, we have flowers at the bottom with romance and sweetness. Okay, so there's that strong message of, for some of you, I still feel like most people who are going to be drawn to this reading, the message of creating a better relationship with your physical body is kind of the major message. But for what's coming out in the cards, for some of you, there's that strong message that somebody that you're deeply connected to is letting go of that kind of like need to hold on to having options as a way of like feeling secure. And I just want to address that really quickly. So for those of you where this applies, and you'll be able to tell real quick, for those of you where this applies, we have the flowers and the you know, with romance and sweetness, and bride with wife and engagement. Somebody could be coming to you, pardon my itchy nose, with an offer to finally have greater commitments. Somebody could literally be bringing you flowers, but an offer of greater commitment. I feel as if that's the case, there are other people kind of onlooking who might experience jealousy about this. This is definitely something with this turtle energy that has taken quite a long time. I feel as if you were protected from things happening at the wrong time with this person. Like things did not move forward because it would have been the wrong time pretty significantly. So for some of you, that is what this full moon is going to be bringing up. Now for others, I feel as if there is a commitment you're making to yourself. That's something I'm kind of getting here. There is a commitment you're making to yourself. that feels like this is for your, growth. And I do feel like it will require you to make a choice that will upset other people with this cat, you know, jealousy and gossip kind of energy. People might talk about it. This might be something where just because she's got her back to the cat, that asks you to, I don't want to say walk away from people, but leave certain things behind. And the people who are committed to those habits, patterns, practices, to ultimately be willing to leave them behind as well. You are very protected in this journey. This feels like something where, I don't know why I'm getting this energy. I never really get this with this card, but she's got her head down and she's kind of looking, and it feels like it's kind of like, okay, I know what I have to do. Whatever this is something you've been approaching for a while. Some of you might be getting into a committed relationship, and the people in your life are not supportive. I'm almost getting this energy here where there's like a discontent with all these other people, right? So it's like feeling like you have to people please for other people. And remember, Taurus is a fixed earth energy that can be very sure of itself. This is what I like. This is what I don't like. These might be traits that you've repressed within yourself. And so they might be expressing themselves in the month ahead where it's like, this is the direction I'm going. I'm doing that. It feels like there's a journey you're setting off on in the month ahead. And it is very protected. It is very guided. It is one of wisdom. But it is ultimately one that, like, again, may upset the people around you. So I want to find out more. What is this journey about? The 7 of Wands in reverse. I have a straight hair, you guys. It's going to drive me nuts. There we go. Oh, that was going to make me crazy. Yeah, the 5 of Wands. There it is. Okay. And the Page of Pentacles in reverse. Capricorn energy coming in. The 8 of Wands. Some of you guys, you might be moving. 9 of Wands at the bottom. There's such a clear message. This journey is about moving away from, pardon my itchy nose, situations and people that make you feel like you're constantly on the defense. With the 7 of Wands in reverse, you're letting it go. It's like, I don't need to fight for this. I don't like this, right? We have, with discontent, this is the muses. So there's a sense here of like, this doesn't inspire me. I don't care for this. For some, this is walking away from a job with the Page of Pentacles reversed, right? You're walking away from a job and you're moving in a new direction. There's a sense of like taking your talents, your skills, your dedication, your loyalty, and moving in a different direction with that, especially one that is away from people who are like this. The 5 of Wands is a power struggle. It is, it represents a group of people. So I look at it, it's like, it could be a family system. It could be a friend group, could be a group of coworkers. It can also just be multiple influences in your life. But these feel like people who you're constantly having to guard yourself against. And it's made it hard to even start something. Some of you have felt very blocked toward what you want. Some of you guys, it's kind of like, you have a lot of outside influence and it's been very stressful, and you might run away into like self-soothing strategies that are not good for your physical body. And that's something you're addressing this month. And I feel like this commitment to yourself, yeah, this is absolutely what the energy is. This commitment to yourself is really all about, like being willing to even leave these people behind, right? So like, let's say if you deal with family and every single time, like, okay, for example, let's say every time you go to like a family get together, it stresses you out and you're like, you're like, I can't get through it without, I gotta have a drink, like whatever it might be. It's like, this is where you might decide, I don't want to drink as much, or I don't want to drink anymore. And so as a result, I'm going to not attend these events that cause me to do that. It feels like, or, if you have a friend, like you have friends who, if that's what you do together, it's like, what, you're not going to hang out with us. And so it's like, well, we could hang out without drinking, but these people would kind of not see that. That's just like one example. Some of you, it's like you're creating better work-life balance, and this might get in the way of like, especially if you and your coworkers, one of the things you bond over is how much you work, or like there are workaholics in your life. It's kind of like, it just feels like you're making a commitment to your health and wellness in the month ahead, and other people are going to have issues with that. because it means they don't have access to you in the same way. Also means that it's a recognition with the Page of Pentacles in reverse that you're moving on to something new and they're not. So be prepared to face a little bit of pushback. Yeah, the World, you're ready for a new cycle. The High Priestess, and a lot of you guys feel called to move in this new direction, and people in your life might have something to say about it. And so I feel like many of you, it's this journey to kind of let go of feeling like you always need to defend yourself. You always need to prove yourself. You always need to fend off other people's, you know, drama or chaos or criticism. It's kind of like, no, I'm just gonna, and it feels like this is surrounding stopping doing something or not taking up an offer. And it's kind of like, no, I'm gonna do something else. Some of you guys are calling off a wedding. Six of Pentacles, Ace of Cups, wow. And the Tower, yeah, whatever this is you're doing, whatever you're choosing to do instead, something might be coming in and an offer might be made and you're like, yep, that's what I'm gonna go with. Some of you guys are leaving one job to take an offer from another job, and it's like totally out of left field, like a different kind of company, a different position, a different field entirely. It's just like, this is going to, there's something about this that it's going to shock people around you. Whatever this is that you're doing, it's going to shock people around you. You guys are going to know pretty intuitively, pretty quickly that this is the path for you. Again, with that High Priestess at the bottom. But you're going to be opting to moving in a direction that is more emotionally fulfilling for you and that actually meets your needs where there's equal give and take. There's reciprocity, there's generosity, there is support. There feels like there's an equal exchange. It's just such a different vibe than like the Five of Wands, where there's power struggle and chaos and nothing's really getting done. It's just weird. It's freaking weird. It's weird shit, you guys. And so a lot of you are choosing that instead. Some of you are getting an offer of commitment or a relationship offer, possibly from somebody who you didn't get it from before. And again, they're ready now, and the people in your life might have something to say about that. Only you know if this situation is right for you. It feels like whatever this is that you're saying yes to, you know it's for you, and other people are gonna S their P. P is pants, by the way, just in case it was unclear. And like, there's kind of this energy of like, yep, let them. I don't care what people have to say. Like, let them talk. Let them talk. Let them squawk. Those chickens aren't for me. It feels like only you know the depths of the decision you're about to make or what's going to be coming into your life. Like, only you know the whole journey. Only you know what it means to you or what it's going to mean to you. But you're going to know very quickly, like, this is the path I need to go on. This is what I want to do. This is what I need to do. I'm going to clarify this bride a little bit. Again, I feel like this is where you're making a commitment, possibly to somebody else, but definitely to yourself. It's like a commitment to the path you feel like you need to have. The High Priestess, so again, intuitively, you're going to know, whoa, my right ear is ringing so hard. Woo, okay. The Five of Pentacles at the bottom. Interesting. The Ace of Wands in reverse and the Empress in reverse. Interesting. So I feel like what this is also talking about, so primarily what you're going to know more than anything else is you're going to know that something is, your heart's not in it, right? There's no passion in it. It doesn't respect you. It doesn't honor you. With the Five of Pentacles, it leaves you feeling, I want to say feeling bad about yourself. And so even if it feels like more one of those things of like, you're going to be moving away from it or moving just like in a different direction to get away from, like, you know, kind of being like, I'm moving toward this thing, but I'm also leaving this thing behind. Excuse my burp. And that feels like the commitment you're making to yourself. Some of you are cutting off a feminine energy, a Taurus or a Libra, or a mother figure in particular. If you have already done this, some of you are getting a new beginning. You're feeling like it finally is paying off with this Ace of Cups and Six of Pentacles. But a lot of you guys are like, you're moving away from something because you're like, I love myself and this isn't it. Like, this energy, that's not it for me. So this is more about a commitment to yourself, to get something out of your life in order to create more self-love, more self-value. To also get yourself out of this place of being uninspired. And for some, with the Five of Pentacles at the bottom, this is going to be Seven of Swords at the top. This is going to be something that might seem ludicrous to other people. Like, like, let's say it's, you know, if you're surrounded by workaholics in your life, or people who are like addicted to money, and you pass up on a job that pays well but just destroys your soul, this is going to be the kind of thing where they're like, are you insane? What's your problem? And it's kind of just like, even if it looks on the surface like it's a loss, it's actually you're operating at a net gain. Seven of Swords at the top of the deck. I do feel like this is kind of something that you feel like you're going to have to kind of sneak away from, or you're keeping it quiet, you're keeping it to yourself, or you have been keeping it to yourself. Again, only you know what's right for you, and so honor that above all else. So like, you don't owe anybody an explanation if you don't want to give one, right? So some of you are going to have that sense, especially Seven of Wands reverse, Seven of Swords, of just kind of letting go of something and just like sneaking away, moving away from it. All of a sudden you're really busy, right? All of a sudden, you know, you have other things to occupy your time. Some of you, if you're giving up a bad habit with like your physical body, so like, let's say if you're giving up drinking, you're just mysteriously going to like, you know, it's not like you're announcing it to the world, it's just you're not doing it anymore. Maybe you avoid those like, you know, party nights with your friends, and instead you only join them for like brunch, or you only join them for like, you know, a weekly hike or something like that. You're just kind of taking yourself out of those situations one by one in order to create more health and wellness for yourself. So I want to see what's going to come out of this next month ahead, where you're going to be able to kind of, you know, bank on experiencing in some form or fashion. Knight of Wands, I do feel like you'll get your energy back, you'll get your mojo back. Yeah, I feel like it's going to inspire you to want to move in a new direction. There's a lot of motivation. Yeah, the Nine of Wands, you're going to get your fight back. Your fighting spirit. Strength. Yeah, you're really going to like get that back. And the King of Cups reversed. Some of you are letting go of a water sign, possibly a Scorpio. Could be letting go of a Leo. But somebody who is emotionally unstable all over the place. This could be somebody where it's like, again, some of you with the bride card here, you're calling off a wedding, you're calling off a commitment with somebody who seems like they'd be the perfect match for you, or seems like on the surface, it's like, oh, they have such a great relationship, but you just know it's not for you. You know it's not where you want to be. And other people might be like, what's your problem? Are you insane? And it's just like, this is just not for me. It's just not. Especially the Seven of Swords, some of you are literally like sneaking away from the relationship. But what I feel like you can expect is, like I said, to get your fire back. I feel like a lot of you guys, if you've been in this place where you've been kind of emotionally out of sorts, all over the place, uninspired, discontent, you know, on an emotional roller coaster, you're getting back, you know, you're getting back in the saddle here. You're getting back in a good groove. You're digging deep in the heart space, and you're finding those qualities, particularly your resiliency and your determination and tenacity. You're finding those qualities again to remember what's important to you and move more toward that. Some of you guys, if you fell into like maybe a rut where you're self-soothing in a lot of like unhealthy ways, it feels like this is the month where you're getting back on track and you're like, okay, you know what? I wasn't feeling so great before. Makes sense. I have, you know, grace and compassion with myself, but I'm going to clean things up this month, and we're going to keep it clean is kind of the energy here. So there's a commitment to yourself that you're making regardless of what other people around you have to say. Some of you, this is regardless of like the difficult energies around you. So if you like, let's say your coworkers stress you out a lot, you know, if you're like, all right, I'm going to give up, I'm just picking something out of thin air, I'm going to give up smoking, but your coworkers stress you out, it's like you're holding true to your commitment to yourself and learning how to kind of weather that storm, even though the people around you can exacerbate the issue. It's kind of like, nope, I'm staying committed to me. I'm staying like, I'm on my stuff here. Excuse my burp. And staying really committed to your well-being. And what you guys need to know above all else is that regardless of any opposition, outside influence, you are very much protected. In your journey, in your progress is something I want to tell you. You are very much protected. Again, tying it all together, Taurus is that energy of, yes, abundance, but it's slow, incremental progress, but it is progress. You see growth. So even though it's, you know, it's not like a windfall all at once, over time, you're going to be able to look back and see how far you've come. In the tarot, I always see the King of Pentacles as Taurus energy. And there's that sense of being so deeply abundant, being able to give to others, being able to be a support and a resource for other people in your life, not just materially, but also, you know, those qualities of the soul. It's really about the patience. It's about the understanding of the timing and the cycles and how every little bit counts, and staying diligent and dedicated. I don't know why I'm like, oh, the King of Pentacles is absolutely a Hufflepuff. But staying diligent and dedicated and like true to your values. That's a really big thing with both the King and Queen of Pentacles. And so like a lot of you guys, you're in this kind of, you're in this place in the month ahead where you're staying true to your values, true to your dedication, what you put yourself out there for, what you think is valuable, right? If you think your health is worthwhile, you think it's valuable, then that's what you're nestling into in those moments that you're tempted to reach for unhealthy things, to reach back into the past for your old coping mechanisms. If you think your peace is valuable, this is what you're being encouraged to support through your actions. I say this all the time, but like, and I say this in the context of self-love, right? We conflate all the time love and value. We conflate all the time like self-love and self-respect. And while those two need to go hand in hand, you can love yourself, or you could love someone else, right? Somebody else could love you and have great affection for you. But that does not mean that they necessarily have respect, or that you have respect for yourself, right? Like you could have self-love, but not know how to support that self-love through your actions. And there's a sense here where it feels like this is going to be a month that you're really showing up through your actions, and you're supporting the love that you have for yourself or for a project or something that you hold dear. You're supporting that through your actions. You're demonstrating value through your actions, right? Through making choices that get you closer to where you want to be, through making choices that leave you feeling good about yourself instead of bad about yourself, right? Making really like much healthier choices. And I definitely see that here. So overall, it's going to be a good month. We've got this. Go forth, do well, be blessed, all that good stuff. I want to thank you for sharing your time and energy with me today. It really does mean the world to me. I really like getting the chance to connect with you guys. I'd love to hear your thoughts, your comments, how this resonates with you or impacts you in the comments below. So thank you so much. Have a good one.